Well, evidently this is not a good time for peace in the world with the Ukraine invasion. Um, but there are still many things to be done. The main thing I would remind your audience is that peace negotiations are hard things, and they really need preparation. They need thinking through. They need a lot of work in creating conditions, not simply sitting at a table and talking to somebody. And those are skills. Those are skills that can be transmitted, can be shared. Every conflict is different, but I'm a big believer in lessons learned and trying to share what we learned and to learn from others ourselves. Well, obviously, again, that's a large question, but there are different levels to this. So, again, I think that making sure that the parties have the technical capacity. I also think that there's a subject that is not much discussed, which is the behavior of the international community in peace negotiations, especially around internal armed conflicts. I was with a friend, I suppose one of the main advisors to the delegation of the Republic of Afghanistan with the Taliban, and I have to say the behavior of the international community was just appalling. There was no coordination whatsoever. Everyone was kind of jockeying for a position to see who's going to control these talks in Doha. And so you have to actually have at least a do no harm principle. But more than that, I mean, this matters to everyone. So instead of seeing this like a competition, is can we find ways of ensuring better coordination around objectives that we all share? Well, you cannot say that kind of so generally, but I do think that it's possible. A good friend of mine, Jeff Feltman, who was Under Secretary General of the UN, used to say something that I always found very interesting, which is we should be thinking about new kinds of architecture to see how the UN can be deployed in certain cases, in others it can coordinate with regional organizations, but also with foundations, institutes, NGOs that specialize in negotiations, and see how jointly we can actually, again, try to read over the same sheet of music and promote peace, because that's what it's about. It's about stopping wars, building lasting peace, and not getting little prizes for your own efforts. Well, it's difficult to be hopeful at the moment because the invasion of Ukraine is too serious. There are many other wars going on in the world. People are dying in other places. But this is a permanent member of the Security Council that has decided to invade a neighbor. And so the guarantor of the international order is invading the neighbor, and he's in one of the major nuclear powers. This is just too destabilizing. And so we need to see how we get out of that one first, I think.